And I'll give you all of this. I was in a dark space.
MT family, welcome back to my channel and welcome to season 3. Now, I've missed you guys. I hope you missed me too. If today is your first time, then welcome. This is the Mr.Tandoh show, an interview platform with unfiltered conversation, fun, entertainment, and trust me, on this episode, a lot of laughter. If it's your first time, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this, and make sure you smack that notification. Now, in the studio today, we have someone that will make you laugh, whatever the mood. Studio crew, give it up for KOJO ANIM!
How would you like your bath? Right? Yeah, you can have it normally on the bed. Oh, how about a water bath? Yeah. Right? And everyone goes for the water bath because it sounds nice. Like the baby's just gonna be like...
How are you, my brother?
Good, yeah, good, man. It's been a crazy year for us all.
Yep.
But we've, I was saying to my mum that this is only a pandemic because it affects white people. Yeah? That's why. So I was like, well, black people used to this shit, yeah. We're used to things being taken away from us, and still winning. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Yeah, man. It's just, it's been a tough one, but we're blessed.
But the good thing is we've come out the other side. Yeah. We're now in
2021. Have we?
Well, we're hoping.
You know,
it's a year at home. It's now 2021. We're hoping that this year is going to be better than last. So tell me, what's COVID been like for you? Because obviously you're a busy man. So now not being able to pretty much work or do what you do, how's it been?
COVID for me was dotting the I's.
Okay.
You know, a lot of things that I kind of left half done. A lot of things that I kind of put on the back burner. Scripts, my book. That I'd kind of put down a little bit. I had more time to do all these things. It's also been a year of rest. Yeah. I think I've been going hard for like 20 years and, unwelcomed, but I feel really, really good for it. Yeah. Spiritually, mentally, physically, just being able to recharge fully. I think, that's what I think God wanted for everybody to just kind of stop for a minute. And when you're not listening, he'll stop.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm also a firm believer in things make sense down the line, so not to panic, in the moment. So it's been a year of rest for me.
Good. Now you mentioned obviously having done this for 20 years. So let's take it back a bit. Let's start from the genesis of the world into comedy for you. What's that been like? Where did it all start?
Comedy-wise, I was kind of introduced to it from when I was working with the young people in America.
Okay.
So I did a project called Camp America. Previous to doing stand-up, I was playing football and working with young people at the youth club that I used to go to.
Okay.
So my thing was to be a footballer, backup plan was to be a teacher.
Oh wow.
Love young people, love kids. Yeah. But I think, but within all of those elements, I was always funny.
Okay.
I was always that kind of humorous person. So whether in the football team, like I was the joker in the team. Working with young people, I used to make them laugh as well. So humor was always there from an early point in my family, and I just came across Martin Lawrence. Let's not lie. It's called a video cassette tape.
Is that how long?
You might have lost some.
Your age now.
No, you might have lost some viewers right now because they were like, "What the hell is a video cassette tape?" Yeah, but that's what it was. Martin Lawrence. I actually thought it was a movie, but it was him doing stand up, and then that's when I fell in love with what he was doing. Yeah.
And that's pretty much how you went into what you do now.
Yeah, I came back from America, and then. The Voice newspaper had a section where they, things that were going on locally, and there was a comedy workshop that just happened to just be available when I came back, called the Comedy School. I went there for 2 months, and started performing from there really.
Wow. Now I'm just, I would say you've had a really successful career so far. I guess the career is not over, but I just want to take it real back, and I just want to see if your upbringing has had an effect on what you do now. Because some people may or may not know you were fostered, right? So tell me a bit about that.
So I was in foster care from 5 years old, and it saved my life. It saved my life because I think, I've had a very reflective year, so writing the book and kind of just being appreciative of what I've been able to do from the cards that I was dealt in life. And that process for me is obviously not being around your birth mother and dad, being in a house of other kids who are kind of going through similar things like parents day at school being like days that you'd avoid because there'll be a lot of explaining to do kind of thing. So yeah, it was tough, but we grew up in an amazing household, an amazing area, amazing estate at the time in Hackney. I was exposed to all kinds of stuff, but one thing that my foster carer, which is who I call my aunt, did was always let us know how big the world was from a young age. You know what I mean? So my eyes were open. So I'd be like in Cubs and Scouts and the boys club and just going on different trips. So you get to leave the area quite often. So you knew that it was bigger than your doorstep. Do you know what I mean? So being exposed to all of that, I played damn near every sport that I could. I knew from a young age that I had options. You know what I mean? So to kind of fall into what I do now, I think, there's a difference between what you want to do and what you can do. See, I wanted to be a footballer, but what I could do was make people laugh. And I think, when I'm talking to young people now, I always say to them, man, if you're trying to make $1 million for real, do what you can do with your eyes closed. So I had to work at being a footballer, but I've never had to work at being funny. Comedy was definitely a defense mechanism to deflect from people maybe answering me questions that I didn't want to ask. So I turned everything to a joke. Even like in relationships, like if someone might like me and I didn't like them back, I'd always just throw the jokes in there to make it banter rather than me trying to entertain anything serious.
Is there ladies watching this thinking, oh my God, he did that to me?
Listen, when I started stand-up, there was I used to hear a lot of that. Yeah, but he's always just making jokes. And I was like, yes, on purpose.
So do you find that in previous relationships that you've been in, there's been that sort of struggle where it's like, KOJO, I can't take you serious right now, or you're not being serious?
No, I think those who I've been in a relationship with have had the 360 version of it.
Okay.
So they get to see the serious side, they get to see the balance. Whereas those who haven't have always just seen the funny side.
And I think sometimes well, I'm not a comedian, but as a comedian, do you find that you have the problem where people expect you to be switched on? KOJO, the funny man, make me laugh constantly, and then one day where it's like, I'm not in the mood to be funny. People think you're in the mood.
Yeah, man, it's weird. Like when you come into this game, I remember coming in and I think I had the biggest smile in comedy, and then as you progress, your smile kind of diminishes because people don't know the line. Like I said, I've grown up around a very tough environment, so my default setting, that's my default setting. But I've come into this that allows me to truly be the person that I want to be, which is the person that smiles more often than frowns. So when you are a comedian, the natural thing is like you're supposed to be banter all the time. And also, it's a sort of like a pressure as well, because it's like, okay, be around me if you're funny, but if you're not being funny around me, then what's the point of you kind of being here, kind of thing? And that's kind of how a lot of comedians feel at times. It's like we're people as well, you know what I mean? Where we go through stuff as well. And what people don't realize is, we pull from pain to create humor. So a lot of the pain that we talk about, we make it funny. But don't dismiss the fact that it was pain at first.
Yeah, of course, of course. So. And I think for me, one of my favorite comedians are those that talk about their past, talk about their experiences, and bring humor to it, which I guess is really good. And obviously touching on sort of your background and where you grew up from, you've got a little boy, right? How's your little boy?
Roman's 2 now.
2, wow, he's a big boy now, so not so little. So would you say you coming from a fostered home, has that had an effect? I wouldn't say never whether positive or negative, but an effect on your relationship with your son? It's had a positive, I think. Again, I think being in foster care does one of 2 things. First of all, you have a qualified excuse. So if you was to actually go out here and cause havoc, everyone would be like, his parents weren't around,
you know, he grew up tough and all this other stuff. So we can understand why he's doing that. But then also you can be the person who's been hurt so much that you don't want anyone else to feel like that.
Okay.
So then you just overcompensate so that people like you, that people feel good about themselves, etc. I think I was on the latter. Okay. I'd been through so much that I felt like the thought of someone else going through what I'd been through would be like mad to me. So I would always do extra things
to make sure
that A, I was liked, and B, that people wouldn't go through what I went through, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So for me, yeah, it was the latter.
Okay, so I guess that's a positive thing because, like you said, many people go through.
And even being with my son, it's like everything that I missed out on, I'm giving him. That's naturally, I think, what parents do anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Try and give their children, but you've also got to make sure that there's discipline within that as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, my son, I know what's necessary to get to where I want to be for him at 18.
Okay.
You know that. So sometimes people rush to give their children everything so young, but they forget that, you know, they're gonna grow older, of course. It has to kind of measure out. So my focus is by 18 years old, he has to have a house in his own name and £20,000 in the bank. Now, if whatever he wants to do with that is down to him, but he will never have an excuse. Yeah. And that's the position that I've got to put him in. That's what I'm working towards. Yeah. So that from there you can do what you want to do. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So
20,000. Wow, could that be your son? 20,000 in the house.
Listen, we've all, I read somewhere that a lot of people would have spent £1 million throughout their whole life. So imagine imagine all those things that you just don't think. You know what I mean? It's a transaction, innit? Money just comes and goes. But throughout your whole life, the average person spent at least $1 million. Wow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, it seems like a lot when you think about it. Yeah. But when you're spending it, you don't think that. Even when you're broke or you go through hard times, on average you would have spent at least $1 million.
Now, talking about money, you've obviously got a lot of that in what you do. So we're going down further into your career in comedy. Now, the first question I have for you is, does comedy make money?
Yeah, it makes a lot of money. Do you know what's funny? Yeah, like I came into it not even knowing that you can get paid. Okay. Like I didn't know. Like when I came to comedy, no one talked to me about money. No one said to me about how much you should charge. I just wanted to make people laugh, and I think that's what I always encourage people to do. If you love something, it loves you back. Yeah. Yeah. It does, and you got to do it because you love it. You can't do it because of money, because that's when money takes longer to come. So for me, I literally wanted to make people laugh. That is it. So I remember one time someone gave me £15. I was like, what? Like, and £15 to some people might be small, but to me, I was like, wait, you're gonna pay me to tell jokes? Yeah. I got a lot more of that. I got a lot more jokes coming. And I remember I called everyone in my phone. I was like, yo, I got paid. And I was like so gassed, bruv. I was so gassed. And that's how pure that I came into the game. But the business, you're part of entertainment, so it definitely makes money. You know, you can, and you got to be of service. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I never ever stray from. Like, be of service to people. So there'll be things that I turn down sometimes, but then there'll be things that I say yes to because I want to be of service. I think, is this an opportunity for me to, A, make a new connection, make a new friend, B, is this an opportunity to share what I know with people? Do you know what I mean? So it definitely can be very lucrative. I mean, Kevin Hart is an example of that.
Yeah, well, of course, he makes a lot of money. 10% of his annual income, I'm set for life. Even 2%. I can take 2%. I'm done.
I'll take 2%.
Now, talking about Kevin Hart, you've obviously worked with some big names. Kevin Hart being one of them, and Kevin Hart is he speaks very well, very highly of you as a comedian as well. Tell me about that relationship with some of the big names you've worked with.
Okay, so Kevin is somebody who I've known for since 2000 and maybe like 6.
Oh wow, okay.
So I remember going to New York and seeing him, me and Reggie Yates, we had a TV show. So we went to New York, we had like a couple of days off, so we went to New York for a couple of days and then we went to the comedy clubs and then we saw Kevin Hart there for the first time performing. He was just this young, aggressive, hungry comic, you know what I mean? And Mike Epps and all these other people were there. And that's what kind of led me to kind of do my own comedy night in London. So I'd known Kevin since then. And then what Kevin's done, he's always would come to the UK, so I flew him out. Kevin stayed in my house, because when I was flying comedians over, they were staying in my yard. I didn't know about hotel or none of this business.
Kevin Hart stayed at your house.
Bro, he was, yeah, but you know what it is?
Stop. Don't just go past it. Kevin Hart.
Yeah, but you're saying that, but he wasn't Kevin Hart at the time.
It doesn't matter. Anytime you walk past and say, you stayed at my house, bruv, come back. You stayed at my house. Okay.
So that's what I used to do with comedians. They would come and just stay at the crib, because I didn't know about none of this stuff, because I was 24, raw, just doing whatever to get them here. Of course. And they were just excited to not be in America.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that, building relationships with a lot of comedians. And then, so that's my relationship with Kevin. And then along the lines, again, of being of service, whenever Kevin will come to the UK, what do you need? Do you need a haircut? Do you need this? Do you need that? This is before Kevin had an entourage. So he'd be coming like maybe with his ex at the time, one up. And then, being of service, do you want to go out? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to eat food? Do you like all this stuff? That's what I was doing to comedians when they would come over, and make sure that they had a good time, so that when they go back, I can get some more over. Yes. Which led to Chappelle coming.
Yes.
Yeah, so Chappelle come through, and this was when Chappelle was just like missing. Like no one in America had seen him on stage, nowhere. And then he pops up in London. We put it on YouTube, and then it just goes, like, viral wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah, of course.
But it went everywhere, and because of Dave, the comedy club became world renowned, and more Americans wanted to come through. Everyone's like, yo, like Dave Chappelle's in London, and it's that classic bit where he's trying to smoke and the security guy takes the cigarette from him. So then that happened, and like me and Dave have a really close connection. And it's weird that, to me, he's probably the greatest comic, because like what that guy's been through, but the conversations that I've had with him, anytime he's touring in Europe, I go, he puts me on shows. When we was out in LA, he was like, yeah, I'm in town. Do you know what I mean? So he's somebody that's very supportive of me as well. And then Chris Rock's another one. Chris Rock was the craziest one, because I remember getting a call at like 3 a.m. from a guy called Stan Lathan. And Stan Lathan is, you know Sanaa Lathan? The actress from Love and Basketball?
Yes.
That's her dad.
Yes. Oh, okay.
That's her dad, but he's like a massive director.
Okay.
So he done Def Comedy Jam, Run's House,
yes,
Steve Harvey Show, all the stuff on BET, he directed it. And he was like, yo, Chris is coming into town to do his world tour, whatever. So he's coming through. I hung up, man. I says, who's this chatting shit on my phone, bro? At 3 o'clock in the morning, bro. I hung up.
Shut up.
So he calls me back. He's like, KOJO, it's Stan Lathan, blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, I said, Chris Rock's coming. Yeah, and he wants to do your room. I was like, what? I was like, what? Listen.
You woke up. You definitely woke
up.
You didn't even brush your teeth.
You just spoke. You think I went to sleep? You think I went back to sleep, bro? I got on the phone. I was like, okay, Chris Rock's coming. But we also had to kind of, because he was doing the world tour. Okay. So he just came there, he just wanted to come and show some love, pass through. And this is what black people do. Chris Rock comes into the comedy club. And he didn't do what Dave done. Like Dave came to kind of do some minutes, but he just came in to show some love. Chris Rock is about to do a world tour. Hammersmith sold out, all this. You got in South Africa. You know, remember that special where he was doing different?
Moving around.
So he comes to this little dingy fucking comedy club that's got the floors ain't even. So you could be taller than a man that's not taller than you. Like all of that stuff. And then you got Chris Rock in there. And I hear man talking about, he didn't do no jokes though. I'm like,
what?
I said, if Jesus walked in this room right now and did no miracles, you're gonna be like, man didn't do no miracles, bro. Jesus just walked in the room, right? So I'm like, you mad? So I'm like, this is Chris Rock. I saw a road man acting like groupies, bro. Like Chris Rock is that guy, innit? Like he's that guy to people. So he comes in, blesses, he went on stage, done a little bit of time, but he wasn't really there for that. He's about to go and do a world tour. I'm just happy that this presence is in there.
Of course.
And he's watching some of the UK comedians as well, and they're getting to perform in front of him. So, I mean, these guys have been great for me. I've gone and done the work. I spent time in New York. Yeah. Lived there for a year. Lived in LA for a year. Where I just wanted to kind of build these relationships because I have so many great plans and things that I want to achieve. But I also want to kind of rep the UK in a way that Americans take us seriously. Because look, it's one thing to kind of be a star in the UK, but it's a whole other thing to be a global star. And I think these are seeds that you've got to put down in the ground, and then whenever they bear fruit, they bear fruit.
They bear fruit. Wow, no, I'm good on you. And I think especially you've obviously had your comedy funhouse from many years ago, and that sort of followed you. And I want to talk briefly because for me, KOJO was big. KOJO's big, but then I see KOJO on Britain's Got Talent.
I gave my pastor £10 because that's the most I could get, right? I gave my pastor £10. I said, Pastor, could I please have some change? He took my money and said, God will change your life.
Why is KOJO on Britain's Got Talent? Now, if I see KOJO on Britain's Got Talent, maybe he's coming to perform as a special guest, but not there as a contestant. So tell me, how did that even happen?
Okay, so they approached me to do the show. They have researchers that get people who have been in the game for a minute, so that the show has some quality etiquette.
Of course.
Because everybody can't just come from nowhere. Because then you wouldn't watch the show.
Yeah.
You need a balance of people who have some industry experience with those who are just coming out for a nice day out, right? And the first time, so basically when the researcher hit me up, they said, oh, I've been watching some of your videos. I'd like to put it to my producers for the show that we're doing. But they didn't tell me what show it was. So I'm like, okay, cool. So then the guy comes back to me the next day and goes, listen, man, I played your videos in front of everyone. Everyone was cracking up laughing. We'd really like to get you on the show. So now I'm like, what's the show? And then the guy goes, Britain's Got Talent. I was like, hell no. I was like, what the hell am I doing on Britain's Got Talent? Are you mad? Yeah. I said to him, mate, nah, I'm not going to do it. Thank you very much, though, blah, blah, blah. So I told my boy, and he was like, bruv, like, why? And in that situation, in that moment, I was on a big decline. So i.e., I'm a live performer. That's what, I don't do LOLs, I don't do LM, AO, and all these letters of laughter. I like real laughter in front of me. That's the realest form of laughter that I want. So you're gonna see me at a comedy club. But social media had come into power for comedy. So you got all these people doing sketches and all this online stuff. Their audiences are now from 6 years old laughing to adults, you know what I mean? Whereas me, you gotta be 18 to come and see me. So for me, I wasn't engaging with people online with comedy. My page was one of motivation rather than one of humor. So when people would come to my page, it would be like, oh yeah, KOJO's always kind of inspiring me, but I'm not making them laugh because I'm just doing all these other things. And I was going through a very dark period of my life. Financially, I was about to become a dad as well. And then the reason why I said no, if I'm really, really honest, was because of my ego and my pride. And I think that's two of the things that kill our community.
Yep.
Just even from dealing with each other at times, right? So I'll give you all of this. I was in a dark space, and I was thinking like that. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna reconnect? So I went into reading. I started listening to a whole bunch of audio books from people that I admire, and the first one that I read was Kevin Hart's book.
Okay. And
reading that book changed my whole mindset. Because I had to understand that what I was going through at that time wasn't my ending, it was just a chapter. And sometimes when we're going through stuff in life, we think, right, is this how it ends for me? You think it's the end of the world, but it's only a chapter of an amazing story. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So when I'm reading this book, and he'd been in that position, he'd gone through stuff. He went through stuff worse than me. Yeah, he went through stuff worse than what I was going through. And again, there's this thing that people say is like, if everybody dropped their problems on the floor, you'll be surprised who's rushing to pick up yours. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you got to be thankful for what you're going through, because it could always be worse. So that was what was going through after I read that book, and then I was like, I don't need to start again, I just need to press reset. See, starting again is doing something else. Resetting is fall, just fall. Don't try and delay the fall, don't try and hold on. Fall quickly so you can get back up. So I accepted where I was, and that was the beginning of change and growth. So I did that, and then it was like, I saw, after finishing the book, I was like, okay, this Britain's Got Talent opportunity, let's think about this. Do I need this opportunity? Yeah, I do. Because people think I'm in a position that I'm not in.
Yeah,
And then,
that's the problem.
and then I'm gonna have to act like I'm there for the rest of my life. Keeping up appearances, spending money that I don't have, trying to impress people that don't pay my bills. This is what I'm trying to say. So for me, I'm like, I've got to focus on getting back to where I can. Is this a sign from God that I've been asking him to show me a sign?
Yep.
And the signs that we will normally get won't be the signs that we want to get. That's the difference. See, when God works here, he's going to challenge you in the process. He's going to give you your worst fear and see if you believe it's him working. But I knew it was him working because this was a ridiculous avenue for me to go down. And this is potentially very embarrassing in front of the whole country. Yeah.
Not just your crowd that you think. That's
because the thing is, we hear our community, but we don't see the globe, we don't see the world. And I was like, do you know what? Have I ever for a second doubted myself as a comedian? Never. Never, ever, ever. So what's the harm? And all this is going to be is another show in front of an audience. It's not like I'm going on Celebrity Big Brother where they're going to edit you and make you sound like a madman. I'm not going on I'm a celebrity and all the other stuff. This is you telling these jokes. They can't put jokes in that you didn't say.
Yeah, of course.
So what really is the pressure of this? So I was like, you know what? This is going to be a moment where I'm just going to let go. I'm going to let go and let God do his thing. And that's exactly what God did when I did the show.
But I love you.
And what was interesting as well, because obviously Simon Cowell pressing that golden buzzer is not something Simon would do firstly, and he doesn't really like comics in general. So obviously you've come on, and I think as soon as you came on, like Alicia said something to you that was like, hey KOJO or something. So everyone's thinking, what? So she knows you're ready. So that's that whole thing. So that must have been like an amazing experience for you as well, because Simon now likes you, and to be fair, if Simon likes you, you know, you're good. But how has that actually affected your career post Britain's Got Talent?
My life completely changed. Like I was on a plane for like the next 6 months after the show, touring the world. I went to Kenya, I went to South Africa, I went to Nigeria, I went to Turkey, I went to Italy. I was getting booked everywhere, and I was getting to travel as well. Do you know what I mean? I did a big TV commercial as well. And TV commercial was good, boy. I didn't know how good TV commercial money was, boy. You do one and you good for 3 years.
Oh, serious?
Hey,
bust me £20.
You do one of them, boy. I see why people just stay in commercials, boy, because that is some good money. But yeah, so that was good. And then obviously I got a tour out of it as well, and that's kind of what I wanted. I kind of wanted to go on my own tour. I've opened up for some icons and some legends, but I kind of wanted to step into my own purpose now and kind of, you know, do what I've got to do there really. So yeah, so it's been phenomenal financially. You know, I mean, it's got me through this year. You know, 2 years ago, I don't know what situation I would have been in had I not made that move. So yeah, man, I think trusting God is the best thing that anybody can do. And really showing faith. And faith is knowing things are going to be okay with no evidence. Do you know what I mean? And that's when you can get into that mindset, then you're gonna be okay. You're gonna see it through. So yeah, it's been life changing, and now I'm able to kind of really invest in things that I've always wanted to kind of do as well.
Brilliant. Now, KOJO, have you watched the show before?
Yes, I have.
You have watched the show? Oh, do you know what? I thought I'd made it, but now KOJO's watched the show. I've really made it. All right, so KOJO, you would know about TANDOH Trivia.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna have 45 seconds on the clock. I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
In 45 seconds?
In 45 seconds.
Damn!
Damn, yeah, damn. You're going to have 45 seconds to answer. Yeah? You ready? Don't.
I'm never ready. Don't hit me with I did that on my maths test as well. I was looking at next man's thing.
All right.
And we both got Fs.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions. If you know the answer, you say. You don't need to wait to hear all of it if you know the answer.
Okay, cool.
And we'll go. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, I don't even know where to start now. All right, KOJO, your time starts now. Who was the president of the USA before George W. Bush? A. Barack Obama, B. Bill Clinton, or C. Ronald Reagan?
Ronald Reagan.
Correct answer is B. Which company owns Alexa? A. Google, B. Amazon, or C. Apple?
Google.
Correct answer is Amazon. What name represents the M in the phonetic alphabet? A. Mark, B. Matt, or C. Mike?
C. Mike.
Correct. What judge pressed the golden buzzer in your Britain's Got Talent episode?
Simon Cowell.
Correct.
I know that one.
Correct. Who is the CEO of car manufacturer Tesla? A. Jim Farley, B. Ralph Seth, or C. Elon Musk?
Jim Farley.
Correct answer is C. Mary had a little, A. Chicken, B.
Lamb.
Correct. Say hello to my little friend is taken from what
Scarface.
film? Correct. Who is the comedian that has a tour named Laugh at My Pain?
Kevin Hart.
Correct. Your time is up.
I feel good about that. I feel good about
All
it.
right. What did he get?
5.
Cool.
Hey, well done. That's
good.
not bad.
That is in the middle. That's in the
To be
middle.
fair, that's not the best we've had, but it's not
Thanks
the worst.
for reminding me.
It's
We
not the
didn't
best,
need
but
that
not the
part.
worst.
We didn't need to hear
You
that.
started off slow, but you picked up the pace.
Yeah.
That's how it
And
was.
you're bad as well, because you say correct answer is. I'm thinking correct was like, yeah. Oh, mate.
It's all good. Now, I've got one more thing for you before we go.
Yeah.
I've got a few poems for you. You're going to tell me who I am. You should not get this wrong.
Oh, God.
Yeah?
All right.
Only 3.
All
Not
right.
that hard.
All right.
All right. Back in the day, people would ask, who's that boy? But I've grown into a man now. But still make the people scream pow. My money's long, but I'm still part of Skint Gang. Made classics tunes that will make your mind.
Lethal B.
Correct! This is easy, isn't it? This is easy, look.
No, go on.
He's getting nervous now. Next one. I'm short, I'm smart, I do everything with heart. I let
Kevin Hart.
Let me finish. But yeah, it's Kevin Hart. I let the world laugh at my pain, which was hard to explain.
Okay.
The upside is that I'm leaving my mark. I do it all, but what do you expect from a comedic rock star?
Okay, that was good.
The final one.
Okay.
If you don't get this right, you get off my set. You get off anyway, because the interview's almost done, but you know. You're gonna get this one. What you see is what you get. I'm as blunt as they come. I'm super rich, but keep it simple with my white tee. If you wanna be a star, the wow is what you need. Contestants are crazy and psycho, but great TV comes with a price.
Mr. Simon Cowell.
Give it up for KOJO! Now, KOJO, before you go, you've obviously got a book that's coming out.
Yeah.
When does that book land?
The book's coming out end of summer next year, so around like September.
Okay. Perfect.
September. It's called All Jokes Aside.
Perfect.
It is my life from my first memory
Brilliant.
to Britain's Got Talent.
Fantastic. So there's going to be some really interesting, people don't know these stories, right?
You are gonna get to know who I am finally.
Wow.
Finally, yeah. It's time, and
Can I get a signed copy?
you can get a signed copy, and you can get a copy to give away.
Yeah.
What? Come on. Where? I guess.
We're gonna make this happen.
Listen,
gonna
I
make
can't
this
wait
happen.
to get my book. Studio crew, give it up for KOJO Anim! Thank you so much.
Thank you.
MT family. On that note, I want to take this time to thank you guys for watching. Thank the amazing KOJO for coming onto this set. If you haven't already, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. There's plenty happening. Yo, I'm Mr. Tandoh. This is KOJO. This is the Mr. Tandoh Show. Peace! Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, it's KOJO Anim here, and I've just been on the Mr. Tandoh Show. It was epic, it was funny, it was incredible. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, because there's more where that came from.